everybody, it's Ailarra. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me. If you're new to the channel, thank you for subscribing and coming back. If you're a seasoned viewer, thanks for joining again. It's been a hot minute, guys. It's been like almost a month since I last filmed a Flosstube. I did put up a Stitch with Me, which got some mixed reviews. So yeah, we'll leave it at that. Got some mixed reviews. I'm slowly taking you on a tour of my house. As you can see, I am in a different location again. It's late, but relatively early for me, and my husband and son are still awake. So I think they're going to be heading upstairs soon, but I didn't want to wait forever for them to settle down and come back down and record. So I told them I'm just going to go to the library and start recording. I have 11 projects to share with you, so I'm just gonna jump into it. Actually, first I do want to do a couple of shout outs. I have not been in the state of mind to watch a lot of Flosstube. I don't know why. The last month has been a little bit chaotic in my household. So it's just one of those things where I didn't really have the time to, because I put headphones in and kind of zone out. I don't have the luxury of being able to just listen to what I want to listen to without being interrupted 1,000 times. So, but I do want to do a couple of shout outs to those that I've got my usuals, and I'm sorry, I'm doing the twisty thing in the chair. So sorry. Anyways, Kel Stitches. She is an Aussie. So over in Australia, I'm not sure exactly where, but I've been watching her. She has a ton of well, not a ton. She's got a lot of full coverage, as far as what she works on. She does do some long dog samplers. But she has a very similar taste to, she has taste that appeals to my taste. We'll do that. She's got a lot of, like wolves and Native American pieces that she, does. She just finished a really giant piece, that I don't even think she's shown on her Flosstube yet. So I'm really excited to see that in person once she gets her next Flosstube up. I'm still catching up on her videos. I started from the beginning and I'm working my way through them, but I might skip ahead to that one because I really want to see that in all its glory on video. Another one is new to Flosstube. She just did her first video. I've talked about her quite often on my channel, from Instagram and from her shop. Kaylee started her new Flosstube. Kaylee Tent Stitch is the name of her channel. I will link both of them down below. Kaylee has a really unique sense of style when it comes to her pieces. Lots of full coverage. She is on the same realm of crazy as me. We both have plans for like a ton of starts, and I am here for it. But Kaylee is also the owner of the sewingshop.ca that I have talked about before. She is the designer for the gnomes piece that I have shown on my channel, and I actually have done some work on it, so that'll be one of my whips that I'll show you today. And she's the one who dyed my amazing piece for my Mirabilia, the mushroom for Titania, that I've also shown. So go give her some love. She did a whip parade for her first video, and I'm so excited for her. So go check out her channel, Kaylee Tent Stitch. And then Kel Stitches, again, she is in Australia, and I love it. She talks about her accent and sort of complains about the in-your-face Aussie accent, but I love it. She's also does some fabric dyeing as well. So go give both those ladies some love. All right, so we will jump into it from here. All right. So I did try to get some stats in which I totally forgot. I was going to total everything up. I was just curious how many stitches I did in the month because boy, oh boy. My stressful month also equaled lots of stitching because when I get really stressed out, I tend to use my stitching as a way to, which I think a lot of us do, use our stitching as a way to sort of deflate from the stress of the day. I don't really have these in order because I can't be organized, people, ever, or as organized as I get. Okay, so the first one is Face of a Mermaid. This is by Total Cross Stitch, and she is on Etsy. I will link her below. I work on, this is one I use for Mermaid Monday Sal on Instagram, which if you follow me on Instagram, it probably really doesn't matter because I'm crap at posting there too. Just about as regularly as I do my Flosstubes. Now, I do post a little bit more often on Instagram, but I do try to get a few posts out a week. I worry that I would bore people with like showing the same project if I work on it for 3 days in a row and then I forget to actually post after I'm done working on it for those 3 days because I haven't posted. So I don't know. I need to find some sort of balance. So anyways, I got 3,132 stitches total on this piece. I pulled it out, I think, all but 1 week. I pulled it out once a week. So the total now is 4,804 stitches, and I am 5.49% complete on this. And as you will see, I have started switching up how I stitch yet again, even after my Stitch With Me, and I was talking about this diagonal cross-country parking sort of satirically. Not really, but sort of. But I was starting to get annoyed with the holes that were being left and how long it was taking to fill those in. Even with going back up and starting and filling these, you know, sort of the diagonal to fill. Really, my husband is a dork. He's looking in the window. Anyways, I think they're going upstairs. But I wanted to get this bubble done. And I felt like it was going to take me forever to get back to the bubble. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to start filling in the page. Sort of cross-country color completing a little bit for that. So I did finish my bubble. And I think one of my colors that I have is not quite right as far as matching to the DMC that it's supposed to be. So these checks of color are a little off, but I think it'll be fine once that goes, once the piece gets filled in a lot more. So her shells and her crown are starting to come in here. I'm looking forward to that. So she's going to continue coming out on Mondays until I decide to switch to another mermaid. If you want to join me on Mermaid Monday Sal, I know there's a couple of people that have started to join me, which I'm really excited about. I know Judy from an Aussie and a Kiwi world, she bought the pattern, but she's not doing any new starts until December. And then she'll jump on it with me. And then I think Kim is not on Flosstube yet, but she's on Instagram. She's going to be doing a Mirabilia mermaid. So, yeah. All right. Next up is Dragons of the Sabbat. Oh, yeah. This one is done on a 28 count Lugana, I think. I'm not 100% sure on that one. I know it's not Ada, but I can't remember. If it's not Ada, I can't remember. It's usually an even weave or a linen, because that's pretty much our choices, right? But as far as the even weaves go, Lugana, I think, maybe. Dragons of the Sabbat is a pain-free crafts chart. It was gifted to me by Darren from Dizzy Stitcher, and this is done on 28 count Ada. Oh, Mermaid is 1/1 full cross. Dragons is 1/1 full cross. Most of these are going to be 1/1 full cross. I'll tell you if there's an exception. And, oh, gross. Okay. Ta-da! Look, black. Now, as you can see, I have gotten a whole bunch of black stitched. Now, I am doing this by page, just because it's a little easier to keep track of. And that's kind of what started the whole, I'm just going to stitch by page now. You can kind of see a page break here and a shade change here. I don't know why I didn't start using my Cone of Doom on these two first pages. I just wasn't thinking, and realized very quickly that the shades of black are not all the same. Not all shades of 310 are created equally. So I'm gonna have a weird look in the upper corner here, but c'est la vie. It'll be okay. So this is my Cone of Doom coming in here, and I'm trying to switch up how I stitch. Obviously, it'll be hard to tell if the page breaks are gonna still show until I get to this page. But I'm adjusting how I go row by row to hopefully eliminate that page break over here. I got in a total of 5,700 stitches. I used this in a part of a stitching challenge that I did for one of my Facebook groups, and I had to, well, my challenge was to get 7,000 stitches in 7 days. So I cheated a little bit and did lots of block stitching. I did end up doing it, and I think I actually got it done in 5 days. But it was block stitching. That and Veil Nebula is what I used for it. So I cheated a little bit and got a lot done. But that is a total now of, can't read my writing if it says 88 or 8,300. Something. There's a lot of stitches in there so far. I am at 0.88% because that, no, I'm sorry. I am at 1.37% complete because that is pretty much the size of a supersized piece. It's huge. Okay, next, well, not next, but what I'm going to show you next is actually a new start. After stitching like a maniac for that week for the 7K in 7 days on 28 count, those stitches started looking really tiny. I think my eyes got a little bit fatigued. I definitely found out about myself because I did 7K in 5 days. I was stitching obviously over 1,000 stitches a day. I think my limit is about 1,000 a day. That's when I start getting antsy, when I'm ready to be done for the day. Just having that sort of, that want to be done kind of feeling. So anyways, I decided to reward myself, I guess, with a new start on a lower count fabric. Yeah. And I had a small selection, and I asked for some opinions on what I should start. And the winner was, it's a mini quick stitch piece from Heaven and Earth Designs and mini quick stitch Arctic Dreams is what I'm doing. And I decided to, this one was pulled on an 18 count fabric. It is an Aida. I think I got it from Amazon at some point. So I'm doing this one 2/1 full cross. And I did 1,441 stitches. This is actually a middle start. A lot of my, probably almost all of my new starts are going to be middle starts, because in my infinite wisdom, when I went to cut out all of my Aida pieces for all of my projects, I measured, but I forgot or neglected. I neglected to actually mark off my margin. And while my aim was for 3 inches, top and bottom, or tops and sides, I know I didn't actually get that precisely on everything. And of course, I don't remember which ones are which. So, and I'm lazy enough that I would rather not measure and figure out again where my corners are going to be in projects. So until I get sick of starting in the middle, they're just going to be started in the middle. So that's where we're at here. So this is the edge of the whale. Kind of towards, like, I think here's where the ocean or the water starts. It's very close to the bottom of the Q-snap here. So I just got some sky in, and I'm kind of following the page here. You can see where I've marked the page line, and you know, I'm just going to kind of still follow a little bit cross country, but I'm using that as sort of a guide, a cutoff guide, so that I can save my sanity a little bit when it comes to cross country stitching and not go too wild and crazy with it. I mean, I could, but why? I don't want to. So 1441, and I am 1.30% complete on that. You'll notice most of my projects have a pretty low percentage on them because I have lots of new starts, and I only really kind of got back into cross stitching last year. So the other project that I used for my 7K in 7 days was Veil Nebula, and I ended up getting 4,575 stitches done on it for a total of 13,001 stitches. I am at 1.95% complete. And I'm really excited to see this because these are all holes, but that means there's color. Now I think a lot of it's 939, so it's going to blend in quite a bit with that, but it means I've kind of started hitting the nebula, and that's going to start coming in. So again, I marked off my pages and just started, and heaven and earth design pages are no joke. They are friggin' huge. So yeah, that's the bottom of the page here, but that's how wide. I mean, they're giant. So and again, Cone of Doom came out here, small shading issues, and you can see where I was parking with the diagonal squares. So yes, I have some shading issues, but I'm using my cone of my 310 Cone of Doom for the rest of the piece. So it'll just be that small corner. Live and learn. So there's that. And this is, again, 28 count Ada 1/1 full cross for this piece. All right, I got out Crystal Garden. Jessica from LiveLaughLoveStitcher and I are doing this as a SAL. I'm sorry, Jess, I cheated and I got it out because that's what I needed, some color in my life. And this is what I was working on, or this is what came to mind when I thought color. I got 1,497 stitches in. So I am at a total of 2,793, 0.88%. It still doesn't look like a whole lot. But again, marked off the page, started filling in a little bit by page. So those colors are just beautiful. And I've definitely noticed that when it comes to color palettes, the blue purple are my way of... I'm sure at some point I'll get tired of the blue purple, but today is not that day. So, and then that'll come out again on the 5th of August. Yes, the 5th of August. Sorry for the rustling. All right, now I've got... I took out, and I kind of was bouncing projects a little bit for a few days because I couldn't figure out what I wanted to work on. Beautiful Simplicity. I only got 436 stitches on this. Oh, sorry. Man, I started, like, not telling you anything about anything, didn't I? Veil Nebula, I sort of take for granted that everybody's going to have seen all of my previous videos, and that may not be the case. Because not everybody goes back and watches all the things like I do, which is fine. But then I forget to tell you what things are. So Veil Nebula is a supersized max color chart from Heaven and Earth Designs. Crystal Garden is also Heaven and Earth Designs. That one's a regular size, regular color chart by Rose Kahn. And ooh, Quick Stick, the Arctic Dreams, I'll have to put here who the artist is, because I don't remember. I don't know if I actually looked. And I just realized I forgot my tablet. You know what? Hold please, and I'll go find out. Okay, I found my tablet. So, and I don't know why I didn't have it in here. I'm creating more work for myself by having to insert all those pictures for the befores. Not the befores, what they're going to look like. So, ta-da. All right, so this is by John Enright. Again, it's a Heaven and Earth Designs. The next one, like I said, is Beautiful Simplicity. This is by Stitching Moon Designs. And this is one of her max color pieces. And I'm on the upper left hand corner, and those trees, whoo, those are no joke as far as confetti goes. It's a gorgeous piece. And like I said, I only got 436 stitches in. I don't know if I wasn't feeling the super confetti-ness or what, but there's where I'm at. I don't even really remember what all I added. And I'm sorry if you can hear my pup whine. He's outside the door. I didn't want his toenails click clacking on this room is hardwood, so that one has a total of 1,555 stitches for 0.69% complete. I also pulled out and worked on Sunlight. This is another one by Total Cross Stitch. This is a freebie on her Facebook group, which I will link below. I think it's just Total Cross Stitch if you look it up. Shh. He's whining at me. He can see me. He's like, who are you talking to, Mom? I put in, well, here, let me show you what it's going to look like. And it's just super, ooh. Here we go. Gorgeous, gorgeous colors in this one. Aptly named for Sunlight. And yeah, 1,597. I've got 2,350 stitches in and is 2.69% complete. This one I had not started working pages. I was just kind of going. So I went as far as either the color took me or the thread took me. And that's where I started at the top and started filling in with that. And then I got tired of oranges and switched to another one. Again, I was trying to settle on what I wanted to work on. It wasn't working very well. Okay, so my husband, it's August, right? And for whatever reason, my husband got a hair up his butt that we were going to turn the air conditioning off. It is still in the 80s here, y'all. Fahrenheit, which I think is like high 20s in Celsius. And the heat index would climb into like the low 30s. And he was like, it's gorgeous out. Let's turn the air off. You're nuts. So in order to try and feel a little bit cooler, I decided to pull out my Gnomies project, which is a winter gnome. And this is by the Kaylee. This, woo, throwing the tablet at you guys again. Over at sewingshop.ca. Now Kaylee Tent Stitch. And she did the red gnome nose for me. Red-nosed gnome for me. So that he looks cold. Now I did have to, here I'll show you. I worked on him for a couple of days. I had it kind of in my head to like finish him. but he's still has quite a few thousand stitches to go. But I did put 1,529 stitches in for a total of 4,147, and I'm 37.97% complete on him. And as you can see, I did a lot as far as I got all the words in. And I finished up his pom-poms, and I got a little bit, if I had thread left over, I just went ahead and stuck it down there. Let me scoot up a little bit so you can see it. But I did have to switch the color on It's Cold, because the gold or the yellow color just really blended into this linen. This is a 28 count, 25 count, 20 something count. It's got to be a 25 count because I'm actually doing this 2/1 full cross. But yeah, and the gnomies is kind of hard to see on this. If I were to stitch this again, I would definitely choose a smaller count, lower count fabric so that the squares were a little bigger, because the words ended up, they're kind of squashed because of how small the count is, or how small the squares are. But it's charted well. It's just my poor choice of fabric for this one. He's still going to be cute when he's done, though. So I don't know if I'm going to work on him again soon, or if it will be more colder weather when he comes out again. Whatever kind of floats my boat at this point. My mantra has been stitch what I want when I want. All right, next is, forgot to grab my cover sheet, so I will stick a picture of what this is going to look like. This is the kit that started me back into cross stitch. I ordered this off of AliExpress. I don't know who the artist is. I'm pretty sure it's a ripoff. They're notorious for that, unfortunately. But I was not going to waste the money that I put into it. So I did get 2,072 stitches in on this one. Hopefully I will have just put in number 4, because I actually was working down at the bottom and I decided I wanted to start parking, kind of. I'm working in 10 by 10s now because I want to easily be able to count how many stitches I've done, because I'm in the groups that I am on Facebook. I do have to kind of keep track a little bit more when I stitch, or I want to. I don't have to, but I want to. So I've just been working on filling this in. And I came down and started filling in. He's almost got a whole face. I did do all the back stitching on his wing. So that's finished now. And then I think what I'll do is I will come back up and start working across here so that I can start filling this wing in. And then once I'm finished with this wing, I'll put all the back stitching in this wing. And then I'll come down and finish his body and then put the back stitching in his body. That's really the majority of where all the back stitching for this piece is in the body of the horse, or the Pegasus, and in the wings. The rest is not really, I don't think there's really any more back stitch elsewhere. I am, when I am able to, going to invest in a microphone. I noticed this camera is, or this phone's microphone is not as good as my last phone, sadly. So hopefully you're not having too much trouble hearing me. I was a little annoyed at the sound quality on my last video. I don't know what percentage I am at that because I'm too lazy to do the math. But that's how many I got done. Zipper, sorry, I forgot to open these beforehand. I pulled out Once Upon a Fairy Tale by Amy Stewart. This is a supersized max color from Heaven and Earth Designs. And I got in 1,550 stitches. I have a total of 7,695 stitches for 1.08% complete. It does not look, sorry, I have an itch. It does not look like that much because I have a chunk done at the bottom right-hand corner. I came up to the top left-hand corner. I don't know, can you see my before here? Again, I was just doing my diagonal cross-country parking at this point, so it ended up being very sporadically placed. At least I'm pretty sure that's what I worked on. Can't remember if this was here last time or not. I don't remember. Oh, there went my bag. So yeah, I will probably start coming in and working in by page the next time this comes out, because yeah, that's how a lot of people work on these, but I think for my sanity and for actually I think the biggest reason is I'm feeling like I'm actually making progress when I'm putting in pages. Finishing the pages for Dragons to Sabbat and for Veil Nebula was a really nice feeling of accomplishment. I didn't really, while I don't really care how long it takes me to fully finish, or like to actually finish a project, it is nice to sort of have that like solid chunks of progress. Like here, this is done, and then mini finishes, I guess. So okay, last one. We've made it through, guys. Last one I've worked on was Purple Unicorn. This is a Gecko Rouge kit and the artist is Charlie Darling. Unicorn purple, purple unicorn. It's both ways. Like on the website, I think it's unicorn purple or purple. I don't those two words. If you want to take a look at it. But here's what it will look like when he's finished. And I started up in this corner. That's pretty much, if I have a corner start, that's where I prefer to start. And I got in not that much, 356 stitches. I am at 5,843 total, which doesn't look like that much, but, and he is at 8.56%. And I'm still parking on this bad boy because the confetti is real, and the light colors that are interspersed, I have a hard time using this easy count or easy grid. The lines here, I have a hard time with that. I actually prefer gridding my own fabric with the Pilot friction pens. So that being said, the light colors on this fabric that I have a hard time reading anyways, yeah, keeping the parking is keeping my sanity. So I finished up down here, brought it up here. So not a whole lot of extra, but that's what I worked on. All right. So that was all my progress in a month. Anybody keep track of how many stitches I put in? It was a lot. I'll put the total here because I didn't add them up and I should have. All right, so on to... Okay, so I have haul, but it's old haul that I kept forgetting to show you because it was on Pattern Keeper and I just completely forgot about my electronic purchases from a while ago. So now that I've remembered, I will show you. I was enabled by Kelly from Kel Stitches, and she showed some whips from 2x2 Stitch Art on Etsy, and I went, ooh, and I went and looked, and and they were having a sale, so they were awfully cheap, but man, those add up pretty quick. So there's, oh, have you guys not even seen that one? I'm going to show you a couple that you might have already seen or I've talked about. I don't know. I should have looked at my old videos, but I'm kind of lazy at heart, so I didn't. All right, so I will just quickly show you the mock-ups. Now, these are not super duper, like if you look at them close, they're kind of pixely, but I think, and I have fabric planned for these already, a lot of them, and they're going to be on lower count fabric. So I think the smaller pixels will help reduce the pixelation feel of those. But the colors and honestly the way it is charted, I think looks really, really great. And I think I need some smalls in my life. And to me, this is a small. Which there's only 13,200 stitches in that. So, I mean, really, that's a small for me. Now, the next ones I'm planning on doing all-in-one piece of fabric. Words. So here's winter. Oh, wrong one. No, piece of junk. Autumn. Summer. And my favorite, spring. I love spring. We're going into fall in the US and I'm not looking forward to it. Some of the leaves have already started dropping. I'm like, it's not time. It's not time. I can't remember what this one's called. Island Mountain. Super pretty. Green Galaxy. Cherry Blossom. Northern Lights. And then there's a ton of like sampler type deals too. And then she also has some shapes, like I'll show you. This is called Wolf Silhouette. Me and this tablet are gonna fight. There we go. And I realized that, you know, that's similar to one of the other ones that I don't care. I like them both, so I got them both. Unicorn Silhouette. My dog is sitting in front of the door snoring. Really hope you can't hear that. Flower Galaxy 1. So it's kind of sampler-esque, but you can see it has that sort of galaxy behind it. And she is a Ukrainian designer too, so it's kind of nice to finally be able to support the somebody in the Ukraine. This is called Sampler 229. And it almost looks like a black work, but it is crosses. So I'm looking forward to that one, doing that on a pretty hand-dyed fabric. Okay, so that's what my purchases were from 2x2 Stitch Art. Now, these next two, I could have swore that I showed these to you guys, but they're put in after 2x2 Stitch Art's patterns in Pattern Keeper, so I don't think you've seen these. I had two purchases off of Charting Creations. This first one is called Pegasus in the Moonlight. There we go. It's gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. And Spirit of the Phoenix. Now, oh, and Pegasus in the Moonlight is off of Shutterstock. It does not have a an artist listed, but it says reference artwork used under license through Charting Creations. And then Spirit of the Phoenix is by Dakota Detweiler. She moved to Charting Creations from Heaven and Earth Designs. And I happened to have Pegasus in the Moonlight was on my wish list for them for a while. So I figured when I went on here to purchase this, Suki from the Brown-Eyed Stitcher, or Suki, the Brown-Eyed Stitcher, enabled me for this one. And I think we are probably going to sell this one as well. Now, if you're familiar with my previous videos, you'll notice this is suspiciously similar to Canopy Heart, which is actually coming out tomorrow. But this one has, obviously it's not black and white. It's got the blues in it. How many colors does this have? It has, I'm gonna fight this tablet. Not the one I wanted. It's only got 65 colors. Now, to be fair, my Canopy Heart has all of 11 colors. So 65 is a lot compared to that one, but it's still not going to be a whole lot compared to a lot of my supersize max color ones. All right, now the next one I have in my in PK was a freebie off of Heaven and Earth Designs. And this is artwork by Linda Ravenscroft. Somebody pointed this one out to me. I cannot remember who it was, but they said that they thought it would be something that I would be interested in. They were not wrong. Now, a lot of these, well, some of these I don't have fabric for yet, unfortunately, and it's probably going to be a while before I can do fabric again, which I forgot to talk about the last video. I haven't forgotten this time. This is art. This is also a freebie. This is freebie Quick Stitch Raven God. Oh, the last one is called, I think I said that, Phoenix Rising. And this one is freebie Quick Stitch Raven God. This is artwork by Stephanie Puiman Law. I'm gonna throw it. I'm gonna throw it. Thank you. I really like some of her artwork. I'm not sure how motivated I am to stitch them. I like to look at them, but I don't know if I'm really going to be stitching them. I think I have another one of her freebies. I can't remember if I have. Yeah, I think all of the ones I have from her are freebies that I really like, but I don't know. I don't know if I'm actually going to stitch them. We shall see. I might get a hair in my butt one of these days. All right, and then the last two that I have are also freebies. These are from Dream in Stitches. She is on Facebook. The Facebook group is called Dream in Stitches Free Cross Stitch Patterns, and I will link them. I will link her down below. Her patterns are on Ko-fi.com, which I guess is like the same as, you know, buy people a coffee kind of thing. I think. Don't quote me on that. But all of hers are just, they're free. If you want them, download them. And then, you know, if you enjoy them or whatnot, she, you know, go ahead and donate. So we will see if I decide to stitch them, and then I will donate as needed. But this one is called Her Time. And this is for the day that I really want to do lots of brown. Because I was inputting, now unfortunately it is a Pattern Keeper compatible pattern, but you do have to input all the thread colors, which is not a huge deal. It's just only slightly annoying. And most of the colors in here are browns. I was kind of surprised. But I love the, and these are smaller. It's only 346 by 520, so middle in size. And this last one is called Traveling the Universe. And she gets these off of Pixabay. That's where she found these. That's not a great, some of the glare is kind of on here. Lots and lots of blues. Mostly blues. All right. And then, so that was it for haul as far as my purchases, or, you know, I got them on my own for the freebie things. I did have some Stitchy kindness. Since I've got Pattern Keeper. So Jenn, one of my viewers, contacted me and said, hey, I accidentally purchased 2 of these. One of the, you know, this looks like something that you would do. And I was like, yes, actually, it's in my wish list on Heaven and Earth Designs. It's just not one I happen to pick up. And she said, well, don't, because I'm going to send you it. And she gifted me Rose Kahn's Dragon Race Into the Night. And she had both the Max Colors and the regular colors version. And she gifted me the Max Colors. She's like, I'm going to let you do that madness. Okay, thank you. And it's a big one too. I'll have to double check the stitch count, but oh, that is not going to show up very well. And I'm sad that I don't have the, I completely cut all of my fabric for other projects already. I may repurpose one of the supersized ones that I have planned for, just so they can start this one. Because I really, really want to start this one now. It has, yeah, it's 750 by 556. So it's a big one. It's a big one. It's not technically supersized, but it might as well be. And so thank you again for thinking of me, Jenn. That was very, very thoughtful and much appreciated. And then one of the gals in my Stitchy group, Alice, she was kind enough to, she brought in some, she got like a grab bag of stitching stuff. She was out and about, and she asked us if we were interested in any of them because she didn't really care for them. And she gave me this little guy. And this is a Jeanette Douglas Designs sew together. It looks like this is a series number 3, scissors and threads. And I just thought that was super cute. I don't know what I'd make with it. Maybe a pincushion or something? I have no idea. So that will be a thing at some point. And it does look like, yeah, this is like a Gentle Art, Classic Colorworks, Weeks Dye Works kind of thing. So it'll probably be a while before I can kit that up to do. But I was very appreciative of the fact that I have it now. And then, okay, so that's it as far as like patterns and things gifty-wise. So my husband was in our shed clearing some stuff out. He has been reaming and cleaning and getting rid of just stuff that we're decluttering. And, you know, we haven't touched some stuff since we moved in here 4 years ago. And he has gone through, and he had me come out and look through some stuff with him. And he's like, I don't know what that box is. And I look, and I'm like, I don't really know what that box is either, but it looks crafty. And I started looking, and I'm like, oh, this is actually my stuff. And it was a bin that my mom had given me. Now, I will warn you, none of this has been washed. Some of it looks kind of gross. But I'm so excited because in this bin was a pile of finishes. Now, it's not the finishes that I'm looking for still. I still have a bag of finishes somewhere floating in my possession on this property, but we haven't found it yet. But I am pretty sure that in this little pile of finishes is like the second and third project that I ever did in my life. So I will show you. I would have been... Now, in my second video, third video, I don't know, one of my early videos, I showed the very first, what I thought was my very first project. I'm still pretty sure it was my very first project, and it said it was aged 11 years. Now, I'm thinking it might have taken me a while to finish that one because these are dated 1990, and I remember one of them is. I remember stitching these, but that would have put me at like 10, not 11. So I'm not sure how to explain that, but I do remember doing these. So, and my mom is just as notorious for not fully finishing things as I am. So none of these are FFOs. But these are just little, I'm pretty sure these were out of magazines. Just little quickie things to do for, you know, kids. And then that's one of hers. Super cute. Little, probably an ornament. And I'm going to show you my mom's stuff first, and then I'll show you my finish that I was really excited because I'd actually thought about this finish probably a couple of months ago going, man, I wish I knew what happened to that because that was really cool. It was like the first really big project that I did. So, precious moments when these are all my mom's. And he's Donald. I remember my mom had made, I think there was Mickey and Minnie, maybe Goofy. I can't remember that she made and gifted to my aunt for my cousin. Dumbo. And then I think the ones that she made for me just never made it into frames. So I may have to correct that. I'm definitely going to give these a good wash. And then I don't know where these, I know the Mickey, the Disney stuff came from some magazine, or not magazine, but a booklet that she had. Precious Moments 2, I think was one of my aunts. I don't know where this came from. But super pretty. Very cute. And then this one is on, it looks like a oatmeal Ada of some sort. But very precious. Now, I had thought, well, this is, I don't remember what, I think it was a 20 count that I figured out. I measured it. This was the smallest project I had worked on, and I did this in high school. I was actually planning on gifting this to my boyfriend at the time's grandparents because they had some, like, decor that it would have gone really well with, but I didn't finish it before we broke up, so I kept it. But this is out of a magazine. I don't remember what magazine it was, but I remember I had looked through my mom had a huge stash of cross-stitch magazines. And I did it 2/1 full cross. And I remember fighting with it at that point in time with how thick it was. This might even be 22 count. I can't remember. Like I said, I measured it and then I forgot. Because that's what I do. And, oh, those French knots. That's a tragedy. And a travesty. But, you know, it was probably some of the first French knots I did. But, yeah, it needs a bath. Oh, something horrible. Something horrible. But yeah, I was really excited to have that back. And then along with those is this bag of fabric. Most of this is 14 count. So I think there's like one piece. Yeah, there's one in here that is, no, that's 14 count. MCG Textiles 28 count even weave. That's the one piece that I'm definitely going to be able to utilize. There's some, like, this is like almost a blanket, but I mean, it's cut like a fabric, but it's like 9 count. I have no idea what would go on there. It's super soft though. And yeah, I don't know, just a bunch of random remnants, probably from my mom's stash that she doesn't cross stitch much anymore because her arthritis has gotten so bad. It hurts her hands to hold on to the needles and stuff. So yeah, okay, that is projects, things, ta-da. Okay, so I had forgotten to go over, I had mentioned a while back that I had ordered the 28 count Aida fabric that I use. I get from China off of AliExpress. The company that I had ordered originally from, I had gotten some reports from some viewer, or at least one is all I needed. One viewer that said that they had ordered, the store never communicated with them, eventually just canceled the order, no reason whatsoever, never sent out the stuff. I mean, they got a refund, but still, it's disappointing. So I decided I wanted to look for elsewhere for hopefully a more reliable source. I actually messaged that seller and asked if they had trouble supply, you know, whatever, and they were like, nope, no problem, what do you want to order? I'm like, no, not today. So I reached out, I looked at some of my older purchases and through some of their stores and things to see who might have fabric along with, so I tried to stick with like raw supplies and not kits, because I don't necessarily want to support the stores that are putting out counterfeit products. So I looked on Factory-Shop is the store that I ended up using. I don't think they have any kits in their store. Now that I've said that, I don't remember if I looked and was like, okay. You're on my phone. I was going to look. Just kidding. I will double check on that and let you know if there's, I mean, you could go in and look for yourself because I'm going to link them below. Anyway, so I decided to, I had ordered like the satin flosses from them. It's what I use on my Twisted Rainbow sampler. Now, and I communicated with the seller, very, very quick communication. I know he at one point was not even in the shop and was communicating with me. So I asked, you know, can you do really big cuts of fabric? How big can you go? How much would it be? Blah, 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 blah. He said, yes, I can go as big as 450 centimeters by, I think 150 is the width of the bolt. And I have actually since talked with somebody who messaged me asking about it, which was like, oh, I need to talk about it. And she was actually able to have them send her, I think, 600 or 650 centimeters lengthwise. So that is a lot of fabric. He is a little bit more expensive than what I had previously paid with the other vendor. However, I did feel that it was higher quality than what I had previously received. The first couple of orders that I got of the really big cuts of fabric did have some flaws that either I cut completely out or I'm working around. You know, I had to repair the fabric in Canopy Heart, I think, is I've actually run some floss through or some thread through that I had to repair some holes. This, when it came in, was flawless. It didn't have that skew to it either. Like I didn't have to stretch it at all. It was a very straight cut. And the measurement for the 28 count is true both ways. I already cut it all down and mixed it in with with the other pieces. Or I would show you, like, here's what it looks like. You'll have to take my word for it. Eventually you'll see it. Now my only complaints, so that's definitely the pros. So far I think I've had 2 or 3 people say that they've ordered successfully from him now. He does take, it's a solid 2 weeks from the time you order till the time he ships. It's 2 weeks. I remember noting that when I ordered the thread like a year and a half ago, that it took a while for him to actually process and ship the order, but they go out regularly as far as that goes. The other thing is that you do have to message him, and I think this is true for pretty much any of the sellers. For that big of a cut, you do have to message, and he will make a listing for you to purchase if you want a large piece of fabric. I think right now he did make a listing for like 100 by 150, or no, not even that big. It's like a fat quarter, I think, size wise. But just message him. Like I said, he's been very communicative with me so far. And I'm comfortable recommending that shop as far as the fabric goes. And he does, I asked specifically about off-brand flosses, and he says he does have CXC brand. Now, I cannot vouch for that myself, as I have not ordered those. But he does do where he sends you an Excel spreadsheet through your email. You marked off what you want, you send that, he makes a listing for you, as far as what I understood. So when I do need to make a floss order next, I will be using him and testing that, but it'll be a while. So for that, last video I put out some feelers for a Facebook group. I had previously talked about wanting to shed some weight, get a little healthier, and using cross-stitch, a cross-stitch like chatelaine as sort of a reward. And that there's so many different aspects to a chatelaine as far as materials goes, that I can break it up and use each item as a goal. So, you know, lose a pound, get a skein of floss kind of thing. A lot of people really liked that idea and kind of vibed with it. And I threw out some feelers last video about, would you be interested in a Facebook group? And it got a lot of positive yes, please. So I messaged and talked with a couple of gals, Suki the Brown-Eyed Stitcher, Megan from Stitching Moon Designs, and one of my friends, Kristen. Those 3 ladies are going to help me moderate that group. So it is a go. Basically it's going to be self-driven. This is just going to be a place, this is not going to be a place to come for diet advice as far as, you know, do this and lose 30 pounds. No, this is just a place to come get support as far as a community of people who are like-minded as far as, this is what I've got goals. I'm currently in the process of making an album. What I did is I put my chatelaine wish as the main picture of the album, and then in that album I'm going to break it down and like put pictures of each of the skeins of floss that it calls for, and the beads and things like that. And those will be my goals, and I can have sort of a visual, okay, here's what I'm working towards. Whether it works, I don't know. This is going to be kind of an experiment for me too. You know, we're talking about having kind of like Foodie Fridays where everybody shares their favorite like healthy meal. Thoughtful Thursday and Mindful Monday, where we concentrate and focus more on a mental well-being aspect, because I think mental health is very important in maintaining and getting to those goals. If you're not in the right state of mind and you're not, if your mind's not healthy, then it's going to be hard to get physically healthy as well. I know for me, a lot of my weight issues are definitely due to a lot of my mental health struggles as well. So just things like that. You know, just a place to share. And, you know, you're not going to be required to, you don't have to make an album. You don't have to share, you know, I want to lose X amount of weight or what. No, there's not going to be. This is a very amorphous, this is where you come to get that kind of support. Like, I love my husband, but he is bringing me junk food and he won't stop. So, you know, it's going to be one of those kinds of spaces. So, you know, and it'll be open for improvement and suggestions and things like that. So, you know, bear with me and my moderators as we sort of create this new space. You will need to answer a few questions, just so that we keep the riffraff out, hopefully, you know, the bots and things. But one skein at a time is the name of the group. So on Facebook, I will link it below as well, so you can just click on that to get to the group. But please answer those questions in order to come into the group. And again, for now, it's going to be a little amorphous as we get it up and rolling, but you know, feel free to come in and introduce yourself. If you have your Stitchy goal set for, you know, what you'd like to work towards, even if you have like a fitness goal, not necessarily, oh, I want to lose X amount of pounds. You know, my goal is to, you know, walk 4 times a week or whatever. If that's your goal, cool. Do you have, you know, I'd love to see that you have a Stitchy goal set up as far as, if I accomplish this physical goal, this is my reward for it. So if you have any questions, feel free to message me on Instagram with any of those questions. If you have any trouble getting into the group, that kind of thing. So Ailarra at Ailarra918 is my handle over on Instagram. That's just the best way as far as messaging me to get through into. Plans. I don't really ever make or keep plans. If I make plans, they're fake plans, like Jenn, the Caffeinated crafter, makes. She makes fake plans too. Kind of like her fake plans, because my fake plans, I don't even have fake plans to give you. I'm just stitching on what I want when I want. I do have, I need to not really set stitching aside, but I definitely need to curb how much I'm stitching at the moment. Now that my space at the moment has calmed down a lot more. I don't think I need that as an outlet, so to speak. So I've got a lot of work to catch up on. I'm still working on a batch of bags that I want to get back up on the website, because I think there's like a bag left. It's very sad. Very, very sad space on my website right now for the bags. So I would love to get on here once a week, so that these, and let's be honest, they might still be hour-long videos, but whatever. If you've been with me for any length of time, you know my videos are long. I think I've hit pretty much everything I've wanted to stitching wise. So I do have a little bit of a life update. Not really anything super crazy, to be honest. Our biggest, oh my God, right now, okay, so our workshop is in our basement for our business, for both of my businesses now. Right now, that shop has been infiltrated by paper wasps. We had a nest discovered just outside, and our basement is mostly finished, but not finished. So there are still spaces in the walls. So they've been able to get in through. So we had the exterminator come out. They did their thing with they removed the nest that they could find, and pumped in whatever stuff they have to kill them. And unfortunately it didn't work. So my little guy got stung today. My oldest got stung a few days ago. I'm really hoping I don't get stung because these are paper wasps. They're very similar looking to yellow jackets, but they're smaller. They're not as aggressive, thankfully. So if somebody's gotten stung, it's because, you know, they've had the unfortunate, you know, one land and crawl on them, and they probably, they probably just moved and startled them and got stung. The little guy was playing today and got stung on his back. Took it like a champ. We put some ice on it right away, and you know, he calmed down within a minute, but still, they're stinging my babies. But I was chased by my cousin and I when we were little, like probably my son's age, 4, 5, 6 tops. And there was a tree with like a wooden border, flower bed border around it. And we would like go play in the yard, and we would walk along the wooden border around this tree. Well, one year there was a nest of honeybees that moved into that border. So when we walked on it, we activated the entire hive, and we were chased by a hive of bees. And I still remember to this day the being in the pain that I was. My parents said that I had at least 30 stings. My cousin had at least as many as that. And ever since then, I've been extremely sensitive to bee stings. Now, these are paper wasps, so I don't know how similar their venom? Yeah, it's venom when you get injected. How similar their venom works, but like I don't go into anaphylactic shock yet, but the doctors that I have seen have said that I should be very careful and monitor my breathing if I get stung, because like the last time I was stung by a honeybee, I had a welt on my arm that was like this big that lasted for a month. So it's very, I'm like, if I were to get stung in my face, it would probably not be a good thing at all. So I'm a little nervous about that. They're supposed to come out and spray again tomorrow. They're going to come out again in a couple of weeks and just hopefully get them all. It's like they didn't plug that hole up because they want to be able for the nest to, I don't know why they didn't plug the hole up. Like, I don't want them to come in anymore. Plug the hole. But they're finding their way out of the wall, flying around the room, and then trying to get out the doors. So that's been fun. Wasps everywhere in my house, in the basement. Oh yeah, funness again. So a while back I shared too that my credit card number had gotten stolen. Well, I'm not sure if it's the same people with the same shenanigans or I'm just really that unlucky, but I got a notice this past week that thanks for applying for a credit line with Bank of America. The first one I thought was phishing, so I just deleted it. The next day I got an email saying, you know, thankfully your request was denied and the balance transfer that you requested cannot be done at this time. And I'm going, that doesn't sound like phishing. So I double checked and looked into like the email. I actually paid attention to the email address this time, and it was Bank of America. So I was like, crap. So I called them, confirmed that whoever tried to open a line of credit and transfer their balance to me had my social security number, had all my information. Why they didn't request a different email address is beyond me. Thankfully they didn't, and like they actually knew to send it to my email address. So I at least had an inkling of what was happening. So I had to call my bank, put a fraud alert on my bank. I called the credit bureaus, put the fraud alert there. FTC made a police report. It's a pain in the butt. Even when, like, I can't, at least money didn't actually, I don't actually have to deal with the money aspect. Haha, joke's on them. My credit sucks. Denied. So yeah, that was fun too. Other than that, we have had a bit of household structure restructuring. I'll leave it at that. But a huge source of my my stress has been relieved. But that being said, it takes a while for constant, like if your stress level is here for a really long time and that stressor finally is removed, it still takes a while for you to recover from that stress. I'm getting there. My headspace is definitely improved. And thank you, all of you, so much for your kind words from my last video. I mean, I kind of said it in an offhand way. I mean, I meant it. I really was kind of struggling with the space I was taking up. But I guess it didn't really hit me how I don't even know the words that I want to express what I'm thinking. Like my normal, the fact that I kind of go in cycles of feeling that way, and that's kind of sometimes just my normal. It didn't really hit me how, I guess, kind of unhealthy that is, and that so many of you cared to like reach out and make sure that I was okay. Really touched me, and it helped make me feel okay. So yeah, thank you for that, because I didn't realize, I guess, how much I needed that. Like I said, it was an off the cuff remark, but it was said in all seriousness. I wasn't trying to be light with it, but I don't know, I guess it didn't really hit me how sad it sounded. So I am definitely in a much better place than I was as far as that goes. So all right, well, it is an hour and 17 minutes later, plus my intros and all that fun stuff. I will go ahead and I think sign off. This stuff is in an out of the way room, so it's going to stay there until tomorrow. And I think my goals, I think I do have some stitchy plans as far as I'm going to try and pull projects that I haven't worked on in a while out. That's my only goal. It's the only thing I'm going to try and do. So, all right, guys, I hope you are all doing well. Again, thank you so much for joining me, and I will hopefully see you in less than a month. Take care, everybody. Bye.